Hello, stupid.
Hi, Dama. How are you?
Hi, Saniya. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Surviving. Enjoying this winter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cold in here in the office because I was being silly earlier today. I I saw this reel on Instagram where this girl was like, if you put your stand mixer outside and it's cold outside, you can put some milk in it and basically do ice cream.
That's so funny.
So I brought my stand mixer outside, ran like an extension cord through the office back door, and ran it for 50 minutes and
Oh my God.
no ice cream.
No ice cream.
No, it's like, well, it was like -8 when I started, but it's getting colder. It got to like -12.
Oh
Uh,
my God.
but
What did you
still,
use? Just milk?
no, like 10% cream, 10%
Interesting.
cream, lactose free, and then I've added sugar. And then I was gonna add toppings in it. I have like Reese peanut butter cups and pretzels.
Oh,
But apparently it's just not cold enough. So I think it's gonna get colder tomorrow, like -18.
you gonna try it again tomorrow?
I'm gonna try it again tomorrow. I'm not giving up. I want this to
That's
work.
so funny. I would just go buy ice cream at this point.
But the thing is, I posted, like, I like live tweeted the Instagram version of live tweeted it on Instagram.
Yeah.
So now I feel like I'm accountable for like continuing.
You can have a whole highlights reel of me trying to make ice cream.
basically,
That's
basically.
so funny. I should try that here. We got like 20 centimeters of snow yesterday in Vancouver, which is rare.
That's wild.
I know. I kind of want to go outside and play in it, but at the same time, I hate being cold.
Do you have like snow gear?
I don't have snow pants, but like put on like my running pants on top of it that are like like that like waterproof material, and I have a parka,
Mm.
and I have boots.
I don't know. Me and my thing with like snow sports and enjoying winter, like winter can be very enjoyable if you're equipped properly.
Yeah,
Because the
totally.
moment you're cold or wet, it's not fun.
I totally agree. Yesterday, I like cleaned off snow off of my car, and you know how Kia Souls, our roof is like really flat and long. It took
Oh, you could push
forever. Yeah, and I was just like, "Oh, this I've never had this problem with any other car." And then I kind of really enjoyed it. Today, I kind of wanted to like message in my like building group, say like anyone wants their car cleared out. Like I'm like bored at
it.
home.
Do it for $5.
Exactly.
I also saw this like this reel of a parking ticket agent. Someone was filming a a ticket agent, cleaned out the entire car really nicely and like scraped off the ice and everything so that it's nice and clean for him to put the ticket on the windshield. And I was like, that's actually really nice. I wouldn't be mad. Like he didn't have to do all that.
That's so funny. But imagine you're walking your car and you're like, "Oh my god, someone cleared it out for me. Oh, so sweet." And then you just see the ticket there.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's a parking ticket. It's fine.
Right? Yeah, it's a parking ticket, it's fine.
I mean, sometimes it's like almost worth getting the parking ticket than paying for like ticket in downtown in the city for paying for parking in downtown in the city.
I know. I have an unpaid parking
Pro tip.
ticket. I I once didn't realize I have a ticket until I'm on the highway because I see paper flying off my windshield.
Oh
And I
no.
was like, "Oh, wait." And then I got in the mail and then I was just annoyed and I still haven't paid it.
Oh my god. That's so funny.
I
I have to go to
know.
court because I'm contesting one.
Good
And
for
like I'm
you.
really annoyed by oh, I hope I didn't miss the date. It's soon.
That's so
Anyways.
funny. Well,
Yeah.
I think we have our first ever housekeeping to do.
Wait, yes, it's true. Oh, it's episode 10 also.
I know.
Congratulations.
Yay, congrats to you too. We've hit the double
Yeah,
digits.
I know.
We've grown up.
We have. We're no longer
Um
toddlers. Well, I mean, debatable.
I just like to remind everyone to continue following us on social media, or if you haven't, we have Instagram, TikTok, um, X.
Yeah.
YouTube, Tell Me Like I'm Stupid, I think amongst all platforms.
Yeah.
And then recommend us to a friend or write us a review. Either or, we'd be super grateful.
Right? Yes. If if you enjoy what we're doing, what we're trying to do, leave us a review. Please recommend or talk about us to a friend. And yeah, speaking of YouTube, the we were struggling a bit with the video episodes. I think they're definitely all up on Spotify directly, but turns out they don't communicate the video part on the RSS feed. So basically, long story short, we created a YouTube channel also for video episodes only. So on YouTube Music, you can find the podcast audio only, and if you want to watch us on our YouTube channel, you can find the video episodes as well.
Exactly. I think it's so cool that like we get to watch video episodes on Spotify. None of the podcasts I follow have I've seen them do it yet.
Oh
So I
yeah.
like it when I listen to our episodes and I see the video pop up automatically.
Yeah, it's kind of cute and it's kind of seamless also because you could just put your phone to sleep and it keeps playing the audio. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like it.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of audio, I also wanted to acknowledge that we're still finding our bearings with the audio. We have inconsistent audio quality, I would say. That's because we've been trying different techniques over the last few recordings, and fortunately, neither of us are audio engineers. So please bear with us. I promise to make it better very, very soon. Um, I'm looking into it.
You're doing great, sweetie. I
Thank you.
You do everything. I just show up.
Well, you do that very well.
Thank you, sweetie.
Sometimes not on time, but
Hey, I was on time today. Just want to put that out there.
Yes, yes, yes. So episode 10 is a Sanya episode. Also, I don't know how I feel about the fact that you're going to have all the even number and I have all the odd numbers.
I love it. I'm so happy.
I bet you do. You don't have the odd numbers.
It's fine. And one
Anyways.
day I'm going to forget and you're going to have two topics and then we'll do it two of yours in 1 week and it's going to be what you want.
So I'm going to have to work double basically to get the even numbers from you. Eh?
Exactly.
Nice. Well, Sanya episode means dad joke time.
Yay!
In my proud possession, the dad joke book that you got me. Are you ready? You're gonna hate this one.
Okay.
What does a grape do when you step on it? It
I don't know.
whines.
It whines. That's actually good. I like it. That's good. That sounds like a wine mom joke. That's why I like it.
It would do a good like coaster or like one of those. How do you even call those like artwork in the kitchen? That's like live, laugh, love-ish.
The boomer artwork.
Fair. Okay, you have some suspiciously live, laugh, love-ish artwork in your home. I've been to your place,
Just one.
and some of it is borderline live, laugh, love.
It has wood on it, so it makes it a bit more millennial.
Sure. All right. Well, what you got for us today?
Okay, so I have a little interesting one. I know how much everyone loved your Paris catacomb episode, so we're talking about a different set of tunnels today.
Oh my god.
Have you heard about the Jewish tunnels that have been found in New York City?
What? I actually heard one like a quick reel about that the other day, and I was like, I think I even saved it into like my podcast folder to look into it deeper, and I haven't.
I had a feeling that you'd seen this reel before. That's why I didn't even want to tell you the topic because I saw this reel too. And it was just, there's a couple of them going around, but this was a Jewish man just pop up out of the sewer. And everyone was like, what is going on? And I saw that, I didn't even think twice. And then I was kind of texting a friend saying, I don't know what I'm going to do my podcast episode on today. And she's like, have you heard about the Jewish tunnels? And I was like, no. And then she sent me all these reels and I was like, oh my God. So naturally, I dug a little deeper.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Okay,
Li-
perfect.
Little, had that was a little tunnel pun for you. Dug a
Oh,
little
sorry, I
deeper.
like flew right above my head.
You did, you did.
Ah, funny tunnel deeper. Oh, you're so great.
All right, so this is the New York Tunnel controversy, as they call it.
Okay.
Um, so 770 Easton Parkway, it's also known as just 770, is a street address of the world headquarters of the Chabad Lubavitch, oh my God, Hasidic movement. Sorry, there's
Yeah.
a lot of words out here that I'm gonna try my best to be respectful when I pronounce. It's located in Crown Heights neighborhood of Brooklyn, New York. So this is the main synagogue that the Lubavitch Rabbi Menahem Shearson, also known as the Lubavitch Rebbe, used to pray at before he passed away in 1994. And his one wish as the main rabbi of this Hasidic Jewish synagogue was to expand the headquarters, right?
Okay.
But then he passed away in 1994. And after that, 770 did not really have real management. Um, and any plans of expansion at that time were kind of put on hold.
Right.
Okay. So a small group from the Hasidic movement decided to act independently and attempted to break through a wall to connect part of their sanctuary to a building next door. And this is
What?
kind of how these tunnels were created. Uh,
That's so. For those who don't know New York too well, like me-ish, is that very central?
it's in Brooklyn. I think this is just part of like, so there's a huge, huge, huge Jewish community in New York, right?
Yeah.
And there's lots of different subcategories of Jewish people in New York. So like, this is in the Jewish neighborhood in New York, in Brooklyn.
Okay.
I'm not too sure if it's central or not. Myself, I didn't really
I
do
can
that.
look it up while you continue. What was the name of the neighborhood?
It's Crown Heights.
Okay.
Yeah, but 770 is the huge headquarters of Hasidic Jews. People from all over the world travel here to pay their respects to the synagogue.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, so in December of 2023, so last year, last month, these kind of videos started popping all over the internet about this said tunnel, right, across New York City. And then, and it was kind of like whispers around, there was nothing official out. But on January 8th, just 10 days ago, cement trucks were called in to the synagogue to fill up these tunnels with cement.
Oh my god.
And that is when kind of the news of everything broke out. Basically, there were fights that broke out in the synagogue. So the group of men that started these tunnels decided to storm the tunnels, and they started breaking panels from outside the tunnels to stop the police from filling up the tunnels. Um,
What
yeah, uh, there's
drama?
videos of it all over online. I encourage you to look at them. They're insane. There's people, sitting in the tunnel, stopping the cops. One video that I think you'll see, the first one to pop up, are the men telling the cops, like, hey, we need to expand 770, right? And the cop going, yeah, but not like this.
Not
You
like
can't just
that. What
dig
the
your own
hell?
tunnels, right?
Um, can I tell you how like I heard about it?
Yeah.
So I saw it was basically a guy who went on a few like tweet rants over like a couple of weeks or whatever. Oh, have you seen it?
Yeah. That
Are you
is
going to
so
talk about
funny.
it?
I am going to talk about it.
Okay, well I'll let you get to it later then.
No, no, to go ahead. We can jump. I
Okay,
love this because this is one of the
so
first things I
funny.
saw too, and this is why I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, that's what I saw. So it was like I think he was tweeting like something like guys, like there's Jews under my apartment. Like there's I keep hearing like Hasidic like Yiddish singing under my apartment. And he tweeted that, and I think he got a lot of backlash for like being crazy, being like low key racist and stuff like that. And he was like, "I'm not kidding. There's banging, and there's no basements here where I live, and I'm on the ground floor, and there's I hear like digging and Yiddish under my apartment." And then when the news came out, he was like, "I told you all. I told you."
Exactly. So this is Richard Strocher. And on November 7th, so before we kind of even got whiff of what's going on, he tweeted, "There are Jews living under my apartment. I hear them digging for something. For the record, I live at ground level and we do not have a basement."
Oh my god.
Then on December 11th, he tweeted, "I swear I hear Yiddish under the floor of my New York apartment. Again, I live at ground level. We have no basement." And then on January 8th, the day they decided to fill these up, uh, he tweeted, "I am not crazy and some of you owe me an apology." And then on January 9th, he said, "I did delete my initial tweets because from months ago because people called me schizophrenic and anti-Semitic." Um, it's so funny, but
Wow.
I honestly wonder if he actually lives over these tunnels because they're not that long the way media is making them seem.
Okay.
So I
Interesting.
tried to do a little digging around that. I couldn't not find that out, but imagine he's like he just knew, like he
And
didn't
like
even leave under.
the whole internet is like gaslighting him into like, you're crazy, you should see a psychologist, this is not okay.
Exactly. And okay, so funny though, he does work for Fox News.
Mm.
That's what it says in his bio. So I'm like, I wonder if he got just wind of what's going on.
Oh, this that was his way of like leaking it.
Maybe.
Interesting.
Maybe. Why not? Why not, right? I'm sure he gained some following for that. Um, yeah, but going back to January 9th when they did try to fill these tunnels up with cement, the videos are so funny because there's a bunch of men in the tunnel itself and you can see them behind the paneling and like refusing to move, and then the rest of the men are kind of standing outside yelling, really unhappy about what's going on, and then there are cops all over the place. Then there's cops pulling out the men that are inside the tunnel. Um so it says there's a lot of conflicting information around this, but either 10, 9, 10, or 12 men were arrested. And it's a little, I'm unable to find the exact thing that they were charged for as well. But on crownheights.info, it's speculated that a group of yeshiva men who had been locked out of 770 during COVID pandemic decided to dig their way in, literally. Working at night, the men dug the tunnel from the Mekva building all the way to 770, where it stretched under the Kingston Avenue women's section. Needless to say, the tunnel constitutes a threat to the stability of the entire Habat Center and was blocked by the movement's official. Charges are yet to be filed against the suspects, nor is it clear who will pay for the extensive repair work that is required to prevent 770 from sinking in.
Interesting.
Yeah, and yeshiva men kind of means so they're a group of students that are studying advanced Jewish text.
Right, right, right.
Yeah. Um,
So it was stretching from the mikvah to where?
so the Mikvah tunnel all the way to 770. So I did a little research to see how long this actually is. It's approximately 60 feet long. So
Okay.
yeah, I wouldn't say too long, and then about 8 feet wide and 5 feet tall.
Okay. Interesting. I can't even find it. Like can't find the 77th on the map. By the way, like it looks like it's pretty central Brooklyn.
Okay, does it?
Hmm.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
see if I actually found a picture of the tunnel and how long it is. But you know what? I feel like because it's so recent, maybe all the tunnel hasn't even been found. You
Oh,
know,
it looks like it's a good like 2 blocks.
2 blocks. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you know what? Maybe they have some sub connecting tunnels. Maybe it's a lot bigger than we think. It goes all around the city or something like that. And they've only
Well, I
found a
mean,
subsection of it.
I'd be surprised that if it's much bigger, honestly, because like digging into like, I don't know what kind of soil it is, but I would imagine hard rock
Hmm.
into like by hand, I would imagine. Otherwise, and like any sort of digging until like it becomes like heard and found, like it's difficult. It would take a while, and it sounds like it wasn't a very big group of men either.
Hmm. Um, and I think if you see the videos all around social media about these tunnels, there's a
Mm.
lot of misinformation going around as well. right?
Mm,
And obviously, like anything on social media, there's lots of different conspiracy theories coming out, right? So there's videos that I saw of the tunnel, and then there are videos that I saw of different tunnels where in the comments it's like, oh, this is not even in New York City. Why is this being posted as a New York City tunnel? Uh,
right.
One of the biggest conspiracies that is going around is regarding the items found in the tunnels. So
Oh,
there's a lot of stained mattresses found under there, children high chairs, and that's kind of like what the conspiracy is kind of starting around. Like, what were these stained mattresses regarding? Why are the children high chairs down there? And they're calling them like they're just stained mattresses, but a lot of people are calling them blood stained mattresses,
oh,
right? And then because they're just random different videos being spread around of different tunnels, people are just going into their whole different conspiracies.
right, 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 right.
And unfortunately, because of this, social media is really exploding with anti-Semitic misinformation and all these things about just like the comments regarding what is found in the tunnel.
Right,
You know, um,
right.
and in fact, it is actually just the older community of rabbis at the synagogue that called the police on when they found out what these young men were up to. So it was not like a
Right,
cover up by the synagogue about what's going on.
right.
I think themselves didn't know what was going on and what these men were doing, and once they found out, they had to report it.
Do we know if like the police or the city released an official statement?
Good idea. I don't think so. Nothing in the research that
Probably
I
still
found.
under investigation, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
Exactly. And there's a lot of different theories about what this is kind of going around on the internet. So one of the theories is that these young group of men believed Lubavitcher Rebbe, the one that I mentioned earlier, who was the head of the synagogue and passed away in
Yeah,
1994. They believed that he was a Messiah. I believe I'm saying that right.
Messiah,
Messiah. Thank
Messiah.
you.
Yeah.
And because his wishes were to expand 770, um, that's what this young group of men are trying to carry on.
Mm,
And
right.
then another theory I found on Reddit, and I feel like this is probably the one that I kind of believe. So
Yeah.
there's two Chabad synagogues in 770 Eastern Parkway. So there's an upstairs synagogue and then a downstairs synagogue, and they don't get along with each other. And the
Oh,
downstairs synagogue is the larger one, and that tends to believe that the last Lubavitcher rabbi is still alive, although he died in 1994, and he will
right.
return as the Messiah. There's also posters that you see around Brooklyn that say the Messiah is coming with his face on it. And then
Oh, interesting.
yeah, and then there's a smaller synagogue that's upstairs that tends to believe that he truly died in 1994. And it's said that the upstairs synagogue has ownership over 770. So I'm guessing
Mm,
it's kind of a war between upstairs and downstairs. Downstairs are the ones who built the tunnel. When upstairs found out about it, did not like it, and obviously it's illegal.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they decided to call the cops on
Interesting. I mean, I will say, like, I don't want to feed into any conspiracy theories or anything, right?
them. Hmm.
But I will say it is a bit hardcore to start just digging tunnels because this rabbi that was loved had a wish of expansion.
Hmm.
But if they believe that he's a messiah and that he's going to return or something like that, so maybe they want to like win his good favors by like getting started on his vision or something.
Hmm. Um, yeah, I kind of agree with that too, right? So I think it's a mix of a bunch of things. Like maybe they're like, we have to expand, and then COVID happens, where you're basically under lockdown. You can't really even leave your house to go to the synagogue, and there's a
Yeah.
maximum limitation. And these men who are studying this religion, firm believers, wanted to go, and they're like, how do we do it? Um, and it was kind of
And
like,
like COVID is also like offered like really good circumstance for everyone who had some sort of um any form of um mental health fragilities, I would say, and a lot of time on their hand to start on some wild project. I mean, who didn't like think that they would be the next big sourdough baker during COVID, right? Like, or that we could start a podcast, or like I think like having to be locked up with very few people around you to bounce ideas off of, having some sort of like extreme anxiety because of the situation of the world, on top of like maybe some pre-existing conditions, and just a lot of free time because all of a sudden you can't work. That's a recipe for wild projects.
Mhm. Exactly. And, like, I think by the sounds of it, it was actually a like, they keep saying small group of men, but I think it is bigger than what we think. Because if you see that video of the men, there's the small group in the tunnels, but there's hundreds of men around them trying to stop it, right?
Right. And like if it's right under the synagogue, like people would have noticed. Like people going in the synagogue
Mhm.
weekly would notice.
Exactly. And I think there's a lot more to the like behind the expansion of 770. I think there was a lot more people that knew about this. There was
Mhm.
another person that's name kind of brought up in one of the articles that I was reading on the Jewish Chronicle, Levi Johnson, who also has a video on YouTube that he posted last February saying, everyone wants to expand 770. It's too small for this community. I urge everyone to participate in physically and monetarily help in expanding 770. I feel like
Oh,
that's a
physically
cryptid message down there,
interesting.
right? Um, and like if you think about it, like I know we talk about COVID like it just happened, but we're in 2024. It's been 4 years.
Wild.
So I think like this tunnel has like it's taken a while and it's probably expanded a lot more since 2020, right? They probably started as a little hole and they just kept going in there. Um, but
Wild.
but with a
What a strange community project.
imagine that, like, you meet your friends that are not part of this yeshiva class, and you're kind of just like, hey, what have you been up to? Nothing, just digging. You can't tell them. Like, what if, like, to me, I'm kind of like, that would be a cool little secret to keep.
Oh, I mean, are you kidding me? That would be amazing. Like, say, like I had access to a basement here, and just like, hey, like, let's dig a tunnel, just hang out
Yeah.
in the tunnel.
Yeah. It kind of also got me thinking, how many more tunnels are there that we don't know about?
It's yeah, but like, yeah. I was looking also at the neighborhood. It seems like it's very residential,
Hmm.
so like, it wouldn't be surprising if like he lives really nearby, like he could actually live above it. But if it's isn't there like a bunch of sewage system and stuff like that
From the
under
video, you
these
can see
places?
them. They're very dirty tunnels. They're not like clean or anything. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
and I'm sure like a lot of work went into like, yeah, not hitting sewage lines and stuff like that.
yeah.
I also I don't think, like, my personal opinion is that the tunnels weren't used. They were just a way to cross because it kind of looks like a dumping ground, and I think that's why they're talking like these mattresses ended up there.
But what's wrong with crossing in the street that exists?
I
That's the thing. Like, I don't. That's I get that. Like, I get why there's a lot of mystery around it,
Mhm.
because there's like, well, if it's just a passage to another location, that passage already exists. There's streets.
Well, I think you're forgetting 2020.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's just
Remember,
like,
even for like, especially for you guys in Montreal, like there was a curfew. You
oh
needed a
yeah,
letter to be outside.
yeah,
I'm not sure if New York itself had a curfew or anything, but I'm sure it was hard to just be crossing the street and watching multiple people going into the synagogue. So I think it was, let's just all crawl in there from this tunnel so no one will know.
yeah,
And I should say walk in there because this tunnel was big enough to walk, not crawl. Um,
yeah,
but I was very surprised to see how big it was and how many things were in there, and how well built it was. You know,
yeah.
um,
Yeah, that's so strange. Oh my god. The more I think about it, the more I'm puzzled by it. Like, this is like, could probably almost qualify as a case of like mass hysteria.
mhm. Uh,
Like it's a crazy plan that a lot of people were on board with.
yeah, and that is kind of why social media has, become so fascinated by this, but also a lot of
Mm,
racism has come out from it. People are
yeah.
calling the group of these men that did start this terrorist and stuff like that. Um,
Okay.
and then just hate towards the whole Jewish community, which is completely wrong. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, it is very surprising that something like this is happening. And I was just like, when I did a deep dive, I was kind of when I started, I did go in a little bit into it, thinking about some conspiracy theory and what did they do down there? Did they hold like rituals? But by the looks of it, it was just a way for them to cross into the synagogue during COVID and them
Yeah.
to kind of expand, which one of their leaders wish that was at one point. Um,
Yeah.
possibly it did start before 2020, and 2020 gave them that push they needed to, kind of
Yeah.
complete it.
Yeah. And also, like, when people hide, often people jump to the assumption that there's something nefarious going on.
Hmm.
But what's often the case is that when people hide, they hide out of fear,
Hmm.
not out of nefarious action, but out of concern and fear for their safety or their life and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So, like, and there's a lot of obviously, it's a very like troubling political climate for the Jewish community right now. There's war going on, there's a lot of tension. So that on top of just a crazy uh, state of the world in general, and everything that was brought up with COVID and all the weird QAnon conspiracy theories that are going on.
Hmm.
Um, there's I could understand a fear for safety and a desire to have um, some safety parameters put in place. Now, that's still insane and batshit crazy to dig a tunnel under the city without any sort of permit or expertise or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't think people always hide out of malicious intention. I think people often hide out of fear.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with that. And like now, unfortunately, it is very distressing for the Jewish community worldwide and for the people that did go to that synagogue. Now that the Shabbat synagogue is closed because of concerns about around the structural stability, as
Hmm.
well as the Mivovich building, the one that it started from till where it ended, because yeah, they don't know what kind of structural damage it's done to that.
Well, that's the most surprising part of all this. It's been going on for 4 years and it hasn't collapsed yet. Like,
Yeah,
I don't like if New York is a similar age to Montreal, and the infrastructure here is not. I wouldn't try to dig a tunnel anywhere without fearing that huge sinkholes would happen. So
exactly. I feel like there were so many other ways around it. Like, why don't you just rent
yeah,
another space? I'm sure the money that went into digging that tunnel, I'm sure they didn't do their hands and knees. They needed shovels and different equipment. They could have used
yeah,
them, saved that money for the last 4 years, and then rent out a different space.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my phone is shutting down, so might lose part of my video. Well, definitely will lose part of my video. So
Uh
it's
oh.
okay. We can carry on. I'll try to restart it. If not, it's gonna be partial video
Just
episode.
my face. Hi.
Yeah, you have to carry the weight of the visual representation for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, but you know what? There's so much still coming out on this incident. What we for now have is what just happened on the 9th, but I'm very I- I'm I'm looking forward to update you all on what happens, what are they charged with, what
Yeah,
comes out, what the men say themselves about why they did dig this tunnel and how they dug this tunnel.
yeah,
Um And, I feel like there's a lot more that's going to happen with this case. But so far, after watching the videos, I was like, oh my God, we need to talk about this. I think obviously the way Instagram and not Twitter, TikTok does things. I don't know if you've ever seen this video, but it's a group of Jewish men, and they always put different EDM songs around it, and they're kind of just jumping around. Have you
Interesting.
seen that? So now it's
No,
like
yeah, I have
New
seen that one.
Yorkers going and they're like heard there were tunnels found in New York, and they go to any hole in the ground, and then the clip turns into that clip of the Jewish men kind of jumping around to EDM songs.
Oh my god.
Um, but I also kind of just wanted to say, like, whatever you do see on TikTok and Instagram, please make sure you do your research. Not everything will be a conspiracy theory. Some things are just very interesting, but not
Yeah.
always conspiracy theory. Um, and just be
No,
kind to one another.
I mean, yeah, no, definitely. We need a lot of that in general in the world.
Mhm.
Um, but like you said, I can't wait to find out the whole story.
Mhm. And I really hope that the New York Hasidic Jewish community does, find a different like space to make their synagogue, while they do wait for their the Shidbop Lubavitch um, synagogue tunnel to be filled and their the sacred place of theirs to be theirs again.
It's kind of wild also that like, the consequences to them wanting to expand is exactly the opposite,
Resulted in
is
them
that
shutting
now
down.
everything is shut down. Yeah.
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 Uh,
Yeah.
I know it was very interesting when kind of when I was deep diving into the two different sectors of the synagogue and how they're kind of fighting amongst each other. And unfortunately, yeah, it resulted in all of it being shut down while they were trying to expand. Um, but yeah, I'm really excited to see. Well, not really excited. I think that's the wrong word. I want to see what happens with these men and what the charges are. I feel like that will be very interesting to follow.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And like, so now did they fill in the
I don't
tunnels?
think so. I don't think like the basically the riots ended up with just arrests and all of that. And right now, what is
Yeah.
said is they're just like tents outside for them to for the community to continue praying in, but the two structures are completely evacuated at this point. I'm not sure if they've completely filled them in, and I don't think it would be that easy to fill them in overnight. I think it would take a little bit.
No, that sounds like, yeah, it sounds like a task in
Yeah, I
itself,
found that
right?
really funny when they said cement trucks showed up to fill it in. It's like, oh, it's just that easy, eh? You're not going to investigate. There's no actual process to see what happened in these tunnels.
Right? That a lot of it feels so strange. A lot of it feels if like you said, like cement truck just showed up, like did not set like an investigator or something. And then I'm curious to see also like who
Oh, so
tattled.
it was the
Um
upstairs synagogue.
oh, you
Yeah,
did say
so
that. Okay,
this
yeah, okay.
the community leaders tattled on the this yeshiva group.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Okay, so it was like a group of like basically um
they're
uh
calling
just unsanctioned by the synagogue.
exactly. They're calling them extremist students. I feel like they're no longer students if they started
Ah.
in 2020 also. Um,
That also like their age, the fact that they're young and stuff like that, that also kind of makes sense to me though. That like, okay, yeah, it's like you know the stuff um students do at that age
yeah, did you dig some
is,
tunnels at your in school?
I mean, no, but like, like the kind of like, I'm thinking like, oh, let's create a wild fight club, or let's create like revolutionize like the society by doing this, or like you were saying like the Paris catacombs, like there's a lot of like illegal activities that are going down there, and people take it very seriously and think it's like their duty to like protect those space and stuff like that,
Mhm.
right? So it is extreme for sure the length they went to for
Mhm.
this, but it feels like, yeah, illusions of grandeur that 20-year-old megalomaniac would have.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's like surprising to most that it's just extremist students doing it and like people were hoping for a
Hmm.
deeper meaning or something like that. But yeah.
Well, people are being radicalized a lot lately.
Hmm.
Like it feels very with the times,
Exactly. I totally agree.
Like people are just not trusting the governments in place and the systems in place and radicalizing a lot and feeling like they have to take things into their own
Hmm.
hands. Like it's not very surprising.
Yeah, totally. And I think
I mean, I'm saying no. Sorry, it's still very surprising. It's the wildest story I've heard in a while, but you know,
exactly.
it makes
And I know when
sense.
first saw the video, I just thought this was AI. Like, I think everything, like, out of the normal is AI now. I don't believe anything anymore. And when I saw the
We were talking about that the other day. Like, you have a huge thing like that really scarred you. Like everything that could be done with
it's
AI,
insane
right?
to me. Like, there's like, well, that Jewish man just coming out of the sewer, I was like, that's AI. Not possible. But I remember seeing that there's like now like OnlyFans models that are just AI actually. So it's a man just sitting on his computer probably making this model, using some other model's face and making his
Really,
dream girl do all these things, getting money off of it, but it's all just
really
AI. And yeah, I'm totally scarred. I don't trust
interesting.
anything. Um Good thing I'm not single because I would never be able to online date. I think everyone who would swipe on me is AI.
Wait, I never thought about that. It's true. There could be so many like enhanced profile pictures, to say the least, or just completely like the catfishing is could be like out of this world
Yeah,
now.
and, like, now you can, like, just do AI videos so someone could just FaceTime you technically. Like, if you have the tools, you can be a million other people, kinda thing, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But the tunnels was not
And if you
AI,
have the
guys.
tools, I was gonna say, if you have the tools, you can
Build.
also dig yourself a tunnel. Just like
Yeah.
who can afford a 2 bedroom apartment? Just dig another bedroom.
I know. Oh my god, imagine they were planning on actually renting out the tunnels to people to make money to expand 770. There, we got it. No, I'm kidding.
We got
I'm
it.
just creating more
It's
conspiracies.
Airbnb
Yeah,
scam. It's all a Airbnb scam.
I know.
Oh my god. Isn't that part of the plot, The Barbarian or something like that? That movie that like there's some weird tunnels connected to that
That
Airbnb?
movie was insane. I thought it was gonna be so
Did you see
good,
it?
and then the end is the stupidest horror movie I've ever seen. Please don't watch it.
Oh no.
There
Really?
there's like
Okay.
a somewhat I don't even know what the plot is, but basically at the end there's this like monster person that's running, and then like it's
Oh.
so weird. It could have been
Uh,
such a good
okay.
movie.
Also, I don't know why I'm picking up on this just now, but what the hell happened to your hand? You have like 5 band-aids on.
I know, my thumb, my middle finger, and my ring finger of my right hand. Um, Guys, don't get gel nails. I got gel nails for 6 months. My nails are so weak. They've all broken in like the middle.
Oh
They're bleeding
no.
like crazy. And
Ah,
it's so
no.
painful and it's all on my right hand. I literally was like to my husband right now, I'm like, I can't wash dishes. I'm injured.
That's
It
so
was
funny.
so dumb.
I'm glad I brought it up because for sure, like people watching the video episode would have been like, "I need to
I
know."
know. Sorry guys. This is bad. My band-aids don't even match.
That's so funny.
uh
Well, I've been making ice cream out on my porch, so
yeah.
who am I
I
to
promise
judge?
it wasn't digging any tunnels.
Oh yeah, it was Saniya.
But yeah, well, that's
Okay.
all I have for you. But I will definitely do an update when I hear more about what happens with the people that were arrested uh, in terms for this tunnel. And yeah,
I'm so excited. Perfect. Okay. Well, we'll stay. We'll keep an eye out for that.
yeah. Well, thank you for listening, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye. I'm gonna say have a good evening. I don't even know if like for us it's nighttime, but it could be morning for all I know for you guys. I'm rambling. Bye. See you next
Bye.
week.
Tell Me Like I'm Stupid is created and produced by us, Saniya and Thomas. You can follow us on Instagram at Tell Me Like I'm Stupid.
If you'd like to support us, please subscribe and review on your favorite podcast streaming platform. Our cover art was created by Ish. Find him on Instagram at h.e.e.s.h.
Thank you for listening.